I'll try not to fall off. You may recall that in a previous video I spent 4 calamitous days fixing up my old road bike in preparation for a 200-mile bikepacking trip in England's Lake District. Well, unfortunately we had to delay that trip because a member of our group got appendicitis. So instead we're going to use that weekend to do a 100-mile trip around the Chiltern Hills to test out our bikes and camping gear. Each of us would be taking the following equipment: a hand pump, spare inner tubes and a multi-tool, a sleeping bag, a tarp, a bivvy bag and an inflatable sleeping mat, padded shorts and sports tops, underwear, t-shirt and trousers, compression layers, an eye mask, sunglasses, a microfiber towel, a rather fetching high-vis jacket, travel toiletries and a medical kit, a hydration bladder, energy gels and bars, an Apple Watch and a GoPro, a battery pack and charging cables, and the most essential item, a hip flask. And all that fits on my bike in bags attached to my handlebars, frame and saddle. On Saturday morning, we set off on our 25kg bikes with the sun shining and 100 kilometers of riding ahead of us. And it wasn't long before we had the first hiccup. So far we've only made it 0.9 kilometers and we've already had one person have to turn back because he's forgotten his sunglasses. After that false start, we breezed through a relatively flat first 20 kilometers before we hit our first proper hill climb. And that was the cue for our first break in a lovely spot just outside of Reading. Across the weekend, Ben was consistently at the front during hill climbs. He reckons it's because of his masculine physique and colour coordination, but let's be honest, it's his 10kg lighter carbon fibre bike and cleats that make the difference. After our quick stop to refuel, we couldn't wait to get off the main roads and into the woodland outskirts of Henley-on-Thames, which meant that we could get back to our usual routine of chatting rubbish.
You doing that thing video?
A bit like at the end of The Hangover.
Yeah.
And then we keep it forever in a secret space, wherever Jennifer Lawrence keeps all her photos.
Jennifer Lawrence, like, key services, how may I help? let me check him.
What? No, what are you on about? It's exactly the same on the right and the left.
I prefer the look at the right.
Yeah, the right looks way better.
Thankfully, after that, the two paths merged into a road, so we could stop bickering and enjoy the downhill. And after only 35 kilometres, we had our first hill victim.
It's a tough one.
No, I've hurt my leg.
You right?
Yeah. He's finally been defeated by a hill.
What happened, Mike? You sure?
Yeah. It was.
Jockey?
And back to chatting rubbish.
We're the 3 best friends that anyone could have. And Ben's just that bloke who gets left behind every time. I'm Stu, I reckon.
You're definitely Stu. Oh God, does that make me Alan?
Well, it doesn't make Mike Bradley Cooper, I don't think.
This is true.
I'm on a Bradley Cooper.
None of us are Bradley Cooper.
Let me on the fat one then, yeah?
Yeah, you're definitely Zach Gallagher.
Not because of his size, just because of his comedic addition to the group.
Next, we were on the hunt for RAF Benson, as we knew that meant lunch.
We're halfway, over 50 kilometres already done. It's only 1:40, still got hours left of the day. Might have a cheeky pint. Miguel, how are you feeling?
Pretty good, apart from the dirty hill climbs.
Miguel does not like the dirty hill climbs.
There's a wait on food and I'm very hungry. Cheers boys. 50 in, 50 to go.
Look how small our little pints are. Ben's got a shandy, by the way. It's a shandy. Same alcoholic content. With full bellies and less than half the ride to go, we were in high spirits as we set off. But after a long lunch break, I felt very sluggish. Maybe the beer and fish and chips weren't a good idea after all, but at least the other two were being as supportive as ever.
65 kilometres in. Max is flagging. We're going to start calling it a caravan because we're going to have to tow him around for the rest of the day.
Yeah, well I'm leading, alright, so...
Yeah, we can tell.
Problem is now when I look at views, it's going to be the opposite way around, isn't it? I'm going to have to look away from all the good views.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel like, oh! What a lovely view I hope that is.
Max, on a hot summer's day, has decided he doesn't need to hydrate, and he still has about 2 litres of water left.
After hydrating, we flew through the next 10 kilometres. Then it was coffee time.
Want a coffee? Come on, where's the next village? We're at 75 kilometres, it's definitely coffee time. Oh, we've got a village sign. We're stopping for a coffee in.
Worming Hall.
Wallingford Hall or whatever that town was called, rubbish. Would not recommend.
Worming Hall.
No coffee shop, in fact no shops of any variety, so we're now 78 kilometres in without coffee.
After 80 kilometres, we gave up our search and had a quick energy gel stop instead.
Mike, how's your energy gel?
Tastes like
Excuse me. We have to bleep that out.
Sorry, tastes like bleep.
This is Mike's chin strap. Oh. So update on the coffee situation. Thankfully these two had some caffeine energy gels, so they're going to be absolutely fine on the next hill. And I haven't had any caffeine at all. Lovely. Also, I've just realised I've done a whole video with my dodgy sunglasses on. What do we think, viewers?
I don't think they're dodgy.
Really? I think they're pretty awful. Also, just met a lovely man with a nice earring who told us that the next hill is his favourite hill in this area, and it's the highest point at any point on our ride, which is going to be nice. I'm glad we got the first 80k in before we got the biggest hill. He wasn't kidding. With 100 metres of elevation over 2 kilometres and the gradient topping 15%, Brill Hill was our largest climb of the day, and it couldn't have started any better. Oh, you lost your shoes!
No!
Oh dear.
Let's start again.
3, 2, 1, go.
Don't get too excited too early.
And so as Ben shot up the hill, I resorted to talking to myself. It's alright, as long as you keep going. That's the key thing. Whilst Mike resorted to complaining. Oh, it gets steep again. I did at least attempt to appreciate the scenery along the way. Not bad view.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. So far, Brill has not been Brill. Ben's flipping miles away. We're in Brill.
What a lovely hill. That was a lovely fun.
Oh, f*** off.
10k to go, yeah.
I hope it's downhill.
I think we all hope it's downhill.
Thankfully, our prayers were answered.
This bit's quite rewarding, actually.
And before we knew it, we'd arrived in Tame. But we were 5 kilometres short of 100, which meant that we had to ride up and down the high street until we reached our goal.
This has been the longest 5k of my life. 99.5 kilometres. 99.8. 99.9. That's where I'm going to come off my bike in the last second. Yes! 100 kilometres. 100!
Oh, my goodness, 100. Cheers, lads. Oh, it tastes like heaven. Oh my goodness. At the end of 100 kilometres, how are we all feeling? I'll start with Ben because I know he's going to be the most positive.
Keep going. I reckon another 20 or 30k in me.
Outrageous. Mike?
I had about another 1k in me.
You had another... Well, I don't think I had another 100 metres actually. No, I don't regret any moment of it.
In fact, that was probably my highlight.
It's a challenge and it makes the beer taste even better. Now we're just waiting for dear old Benji to come join us for a pint. There he is. And so our group was complete. With his appendectomy only 2 weeks before, Ben decided to skip day 1 and join us for the camping and the day 2 ride.
Mike decided that he needed to get changed because he felt like he looked silly before.
Do we think that he looks better now? Oh, I can't even concentrate because he's so silly. He's got sliders, black socks rolled up, light for underneath. He's got his swimming shorts on, bib shorts rolled down, and a t-shirt where it looks like a bee is having a poo. At this point, I think it's clear to see that we've drifted into typical drunk, silly behaviour. So Ben told me before I went in, he was like, no, so that's really difficult to do without getting the clothes on the floor. Yeah. So I was like, it's being total, this is pathetic, right? There's loads of surfaces you can hang things on. Right? So I bent over to hang my stuff on some surfaces and dropped my leggings in the toilet. Yeah, dropped my leggings in the toilet. My leg is soaked, right? I'm wearing
Actually in the bowl.
I'm wearing it in the bowl.
It was disgusting.
It was still halfway through the flush from the previous person.
Oh, that's disgusting.
All this meant that we lost track of time, so now we had to scope out a camping spot in the dark. We are heading towards the trees in hope of finding shelter. So our full setup is we've got a tarp, which hopefully you can see.
The bicycle wheel, you've got to see the bicycle wheel.
You've got bicycle wheel and
Benji's work.
a tree holding that up. Then we've all got sleeping bag, bivvy bag, and then little camping mats to sleep on. We'll see you tomorrow. Morning. What a great view to wake up to.
I need a pillow.
No swearing. For God's sake.
I need a bleeding pillow.
You need a flipping pillow.
Is there going to be a cafe open at 7:30?
Stop swearing.
Half an hour to pack away.
Sit rep. It rained all night.
It's still raining.
All night. But thankfully we've got this lovely tarp over our heads and it protected us, so it's fine.
I thought the whole idea of a bivvy bag was it's waterproof, but
After faffing about for a couple of hours, we packed up our wet stuff and we were on our way. Day 2 morning, first bit of riding. The legs feel pretty lactated. Definitely the wrong word. Full of lactic acid. We're on the hunt for coffee and breakfast. 2 seconds further down the road and we've got sunglass issues, more sunglass issues.
Got brand new sunnies.
And we're off. We're fueled. We've had breakfast. We're yet to find a loo, which is a bit annoying.
No, that's the field.
We've got all 4 of us. We've even got Ben. It definitely looks like it's going to rain. We've got coats, although 3 out of 4 of us have got water-resistant, not waterproof ones, so they get wet inside, which is not very good. Bit of off-roading for you. Ben's bike is perfectly made for this kind of terrain. Path soon evened out as we joined the Phoenix Trail, a 7-mile cycle path which runs between Tame and Princess Risborough.
Look at this lunge stop.
Jeez.
I really like looking at your face in wide angle.
I bet mine looks really funny as well.
You look extra Nigel Thornberry.
Yeah.
What? You said I look like Nigel Thornberry?
You do. Smashing.
I look like Nigel Thornberry?
You really do.
You must be mistaken.
And after that shocking discovery, it was back to riding. Next up was the Greenway Ridge.
No swearing on the program.
Yeah, this is How are we enjoying the hills?
Loving the hills. That's our first one.
That's Benji's first him.
I like the fact that we're getting quite a variety of routes. At this point, I thought I was getting quite good at riding through the woods whilst filming with one hand. I'll try not to fall off. Getting the GoPro out, going down a hill, doesn't work well together. Luckily, the only injury sustained from my fall was a bruised ego. It's my first video holding my GoPro post falling off and I'm feeling a bit nervous. I've done it on a much flatter road though. But little did I know, that flat road was leading us to Kingston Blount, a mile-long, 113-metre climb with the gradient reaching 18% near the top. So we're midway up. This is the first time we've had to stop. We've completely lost Mike, I've got no idea where he is. Both Bens are up ahead, walking it. That hill was absolutely horrible. All 4 of us stopped to walk the last bit.
hard the hill was.
Oh, that is grim. That woman just went up there making it look so easy. Our reward for sort of completing the Kingston climb was 20 kilometres of almost completely downhill riding. We even got a chance to stop and take a group photo along the way. Then it was onto the home stretch as we rode the steep descent into Marlow, just 10 kilometres from home.
That was jokes.
That was so steep!
I love that.
But not before I nearly rear-ended Mike.
Oh!
Cheers.
Well done.
Smashed it. Put the king your ass.
Huh?
Why would you say that? You just totally ruined the video.
Why would you do that?
Nice beer break by the river. Well earned, boys.
I put my in the hole.
Christ, they're annoying. As a final challenge for the weekend, we picked our finishing point to be a pub at the top of 2 steep hill climbs. Yeah! Conquered it! That corner was really tough.
I think I gave it all of that.
How was Mike walking? I hope he's done it.
Here he comes. How was that? And then it was straight on to the next one. Bloody hill. We've made it.
Yeah, she is. Right, well done, boys.
Well done, everyone.
Well done, boys.
Well done. Over and out. So, at the end of the 100 miles, what did we learn? My bike was perfect, which meant that the 40 hours I spent fixing it wasn't wasted. Lunchtime beers don't aid performance, but drinking water helps. Eat little and often. Take an extra tarp to put over our legs to stop them getting wet. Take a waterproof. Oh yeah, and don't try and ride down a dirt track whilst filming one-handed. Make sure you tune in for part 2, where we take on the Lakes and Dales Loop, which was by far the hardest thing I've ever attempted. If you want to be notified when the video comes out, then hit the subscribe button below. And if you enjoyed this, then please consider giving it a thumbs up.